they say all men are created equal. Shot! Master! I'll pull out the Glock! Full of suffering succotash, son!
It's one of your nuts hanging out of your shorts.
Real glass!
You have a father, but your father's dead.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Too Sweet podcast with Lucy and Estelle. And we're back with another Dynamite review this week, and this week was very special. It's the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite. So they put on a bit of a fanfare about that, and it was a pretty jam-packed show. I mean, six years has gone so fast. Just to address this a little bit at the start, I can't believe it's been 6 full years of Dynamite.
Well, even last year, because I remember doing the 5-year review, I might have done it solo.
You did, I remember, yeah.
But that just feels like yesterday. So yeah, it's mad. I thought the show was all right. I thought it was pretty good, right? Without giving away my rating, I thought the first hour was fantastic, some really good stuff. And I think it fell off quite dramatically. Mm-hmm. And then the street fight at the end brought it back. Saved the day.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, it felt like I had a bit of a dip in the middle. Just with people I don't really care about and weird stories going on and the match quality taking a bit of a dip. We'll get into that when we get into it, but yeah, ending on a high note on the mixed tiger match. But yeah, the first hour was banging. It started off just hot out of the gate. It felt like there was quite a lot of nostalgia in this as well for like the past. Like, you know, to celebrate the 6 years, the anniversary, it felt like there was quite a lot of nostalgia involved, which I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, I think there always should be for an anniversary show. The venue looked really good. The setup looked good.
Very unique, wasn't it?
The majority of people that were on the card were appropriate and were day oneers, and that's lovely to see. So yeah, I'm going to get into the opening match, which then ran into a segment and was probably, I'd argue, like the best part of the show for me. It was probably the highest point, I think, for myself, as this was Josh Alexander with the Young Bucks against Kenny Omega and Brodito, which was kind of wild that Kenny was on the card. I was not expecting it. Like when the graphic came out that he was going to be there, I was like, what? Because only a couple of weeks ago we got reports that he's out indefinitely because of his health.
I know, yeah.
And that he was here, so it was like, what? And then I thought, oh, well, it's a 6-man, so he's probably going to be protected.
Making it easy.
He was really desperate to be on the 6-year anniversary. But then, not that he took any like horrendous bumps, but like he didn't phone it in this match at all, and he definitely took some shots that if he's got on, you know, his illnesses and his stomach's flaring up, I can't think would be any good for him. So I'm very confused because I feel like the reports have to have some truth to it. He's in pain, but then he's also giving his 100. But then by the end, he got into a program with Andrade, which we'll address at the end. So then it's like, well, obviously he ain't out, because why would they be setting up this? So I'm very confused.
I think there was reports that Kenny Omega himself said were false. So like it was a planned vacation that he took to Japan, I believe, and he was like, guys, yeah, chill out. This has been planned well in advance. But I do remember hearing that like he was in a lot of pain, and I can't remember whether that he debunked that specifically or not. But certainly, if that is the case in this match, he was just going fucking balls to the wall. I mean, the one spot that stands out to me is just him. He did like a swanton over the fucking top rope and onto the outside, and it looked so crisp. But I was just like, bloody hell, man, what are you doing?
Mad lad. But I don't think it's outside of the realms of possibility that he is fighting injured. I could totally see Kenny just go until he can't go anymore. I don't even think there's even going to be like a grand retirement angle or he's going to
Yeah,
go out
yeah.
smooth sailing. I feel like Kenny will just keep going till he can't anymore and his career will just end abruptly in a few years. That's my prediction. I mean, I hope he has a very long, fruitful career. I hope he goes out the way he wants to go out. Then I kind of thought, is he going out because there was the reports of him not feeling too good, and then with him working with the Don Callis family again and the books and Hangman, it felt like maybe his last year or couple of years he wants to do elite stuff and finish his career kind of how he's been going about it for a while now, sentimentally
Mm,
and with his friends, which makes a lot of sense. But then the Andrade stuff feels like he's going to want to do like best bout machine match of the year type shit with him, and
very much start of
that's
something fresh, isn't it?
yeah, so which is a really cool thing to do
Yeah,
on an
good,
anniversary show, like
good for
old
him.
and new.
I,
Yeah, good for
I, I just,
him.
I totally get it, and I agree with everything you said. It's just so sad, isn't it, to be talking about his potential retirement run and things like this. It's very depressing to think about. So it's nice that actually, yeah, we ended this with actually the start of something new, and maybe, you know, I'm sure they'll have a good program. And yeah, fingers crossed, like you said, that Kenny will have a long career from here. But yeah, it's it's sad for him. But I think I agree with what you said. Like he probably just keep going as hard as he can until it abruptly ends. But you know, I felt very sorry for Brian Danielson. Although I'm happy for him that he could be involved in this anniversary show to an extent on commentary. But it just makes me think about careers getting cut short and things. It just made me feel for him. I'm sure he would have much preferred to be in the ring, but it's great that he was involved somehow. Sorry, just going off on a tangent, not even talking about the match at hand.
No, it's all. I mean, he was there at ringside, wasn't it? It's all relevant. But I think for me, that with Kenny being my favorite, it's just something that I just like to keep aware of and just keep in the front
Keep
of
yourself
my
grounded.
mind. Yes, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So the match, well, before it started, we had the books outside the casino talking about their grand entrance. We had Nick with an AEW duffel bag full of I believe it was $500,000
I think so.
that they had. Yeah, uh, yeah. He was the last of the big spenders, bless him, and he decided to go to the casino. And he did not double it, and he lost all the money. And then the funniest part was then the video ends with Matt kind of being like, "What the fuck?" And then they're just in the ring, like they got
That
an absolute
transition was so funny.
cold entrance, and Justin Roberts being like, "The Young Bucks." It was just, yeah, it was quite funny, quite funny. And what a great match to open the 6 year anniversary. Having the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega together, the first match of the show. That's so powerful
Yeah,
and such a delight to see basically 2/3 of the current elite, three of the founding fathers. I think that's really poignant. And whether Kenny was in pain or not in pain, I can totally see why he would want to push and be a part of it because I think that was really, really powerful.
100%. It's like a bit of a statement about the identity of AEW. It's like we're still we're like sticking to our roots. We've got these, you know, yeah, the founding fathers, the elite. This is what it's all about. And then, but also you have the team of Brodido, who everyone is so behind, and they're also like fairly new as a tag team, and bringing that all together in this opening match, yeah, definitely, it was a great statement, and it was, typically as you'd expect from all the wrestlers involved in this match, just an excellent wrestling match. It and also it was like fun and a little bit goofy at times, but never unserious. Like they were going hard, they wanted to win, but there was plenty of moments of it being light-hearted, and I felt like that's very AEW.
Yeah, I think this match, like, it didn't get bogged down by the whole heel face tag shtick of someone being worked over in a corner for a long time. They just wanted to go out, have fun, as you say, great wrestling, great spots, but also the humor was there. The
They're having
Macarena
fun, yeah.
was hilarious, like
Yeah.
Bandito doing it, dodging the Bucks attack, and then the Bucks doing it, and then him taking them out, and then Kenny and Bandito, and then Brody King. Brody King, why did you deny us of that beautiful visual? But yeah, just a lot of fun. I think Bandito. Do you remember this when it was like Bandito is an NPC? Bandito is like top 10 most charismatic people on the roster, man. Like there's people who don't wear a mask and they have fuck all
Yeah.
charisma. Like Josh Alexander has no charisma, and I'm not saying like luchadors can't be charismatic, but I think it's very
It
difficult
is.
to be charismatic when you're on American television and lucha isn't being brought to the forefront. It's not like this is all the guys in this match are lucha presenting, so therefore you can show off your strengths to the best of your ability. Like you are an outlier, which can be good or bad. Like you can show off your uniqueness, or you can kind of fade out and styles kind of clash, or whatever. So I think it's like massive that he's managed to get over the way he has, and just he's just so entertaining. Like that bit where Brody King was launching like the bodies onto, I think it was Josh Alexander. He's just throwing him down, and then Bandito goes up and he's like, no. And then it's like, what? And then he like launches Brody King. Like, he's
Yeah.
just fucking, he's the man. They're both the man. They're both freaking incredible. But yeah, I'm blown away with him every time I see him. And I think it's that much sweeter because, guys, sometimes enemies to lovers is like the best route to take because you really appreciate someone more if you used to hate them.
It's the best trope, guys, for a reason. We were proven wrong about Bandito. We can hold our hands up and say, yeah, we were freaking wrong. We just were. I'm sorry, Bandito. I was not aware of your game, and now I am. So totally agree with everything you said. Amazing wrestler. He's got so much charisma. I think sometimes it can be challenging when there's a mask because you can't see as much of the facial expressions, but he says it all in his body language. He's funny, and him and Brody King make the perfect odd couple tag team, and it just works so well.
Yeah, shouldn't work, but I mean, on paper, if like a year ago someone had been like, "Why don't we stick Brody King with Bandito?" You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Mm.
But it does just work so well. The oddest of flavors, peanut butter and jelly jam, but it does just work. Like, don't question it, just embrace it, baby. And I thought the way all these men were moving around each other was just like how they were managing to find their spot in time and how all the moves were interlinking, especially towards the end, was really something else. That triple pile driver. Again, like that great technical wrestling with fun, which is AEW, and to have that be the opening match of his 60th anniversary is just, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. Kenny with the one winged angel on Josh Alexander after assistance from Brodito to clear the ring for the win. And then Bucks and Kenny sort of have a bit of a moment. There's a cheap shot on Kenny by Josh Alexander. And then we have Jurassic Express coming out, which was really cool, but really like disarming. Like, whoa, like this is 2025, 6 years of Dynamite, and Jurassic Express are here, 2.0, baby. Jack Perry. Well, he said like in an interview that they came out to Tarzan Boy, which I think was like a great shout, like the nostalgia of that song and the crowd being into it and for the tag team and stuff. But I like how he's like, I'm not just gonna go back to Jungle Boy. Like I'm gonna be a new version of myself, like whatever that is, like whatever the crowd wants. And I think that's really smart and really intriguing and really cool. And his little smile when he was coming out, because like he hasn't been faced since like 2023. And not only was he like a heel and he got booed and shit, but people genuinely hated him. Like he took a
Yeah.
lot of heat. So it was just lovely to see him like go out and people be behind him again. Like it was just really sweet.
Yeah. Totally agree. He actually looked genuinely happy, and it was, yeah, it's very nice
Why
to
does he
see.
wrestle with a knife? Like, his whole thing is that he loves to craft things, right? It's
Yeah,
really cute.
he's craft
It's real cute.
girly.
He's like living his Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, crafting fantasy. But it just cracks me up because he's just in the ring with like a holster sewed into his jeans for like his knife. And it's never, I mean, maybe it'll be his gimmick going, it probably will be his gimmick going forward. He probably have
Well,
something
you
to do with a
know,
knife.
he's
But
just
then
got to
Jay
be
White's a switchblade.
he's just got to be ready to shank a bitch
Infringement.
if he needs to. That's
So
just how it
real.
be.
So real. Um,
But yeah, overall, this was
and
just the perfect way to start the show. That
yeah.
that's my thoughts on this whole thing.
Yeah, so then we have Kenny popping off at Jack Perry, all the history between them two, not so easily forgotten. He's like shoving him. Jack Perry's trying to like, smooth things over, but maybe we're not smooth things over. Uh, Luchasaurus and him continue to focus their attacks on the Bucks, and they kind of brawl out away from the ramp to the back. Then we had Kenny on the mic cutting just a promo of gratitude, and then a masked figure comes into the ring, pulls off the mask, and it's Andrade, it's El Idolo back, and yeah, he launched an attack on Kenny, and then it's revealed that he's in the Don Callis family. So I think that was like the huge, most viral moment of the night. I think when I went on Reddit, that was what I saw before the show even started. So I don't get mad when I see. I sometimes actively seek out spoilers from Dynamite. I get pissed off when it's pay per view, but like for Dynamite, I'm like, I kind of like to know. Sometimes I do kind of
Mm.
like to know. Sometimes it builds up hype. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm prepared for that. So my initial reaction to this was, one, I just don't care, and two, I'm just like, why? Like
Really, we're doing this again. We're
it
expecting a
worked
different
so well the
outcome.
first time, didn't it?
You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different outcome. Nah,
I don't get it.
I'm
I don't get it.
I'm willing to have an open mind, but I just feel like I'm the same as you. Like I don't really care that much, and I'm just like, fine, we'll go down this route again. Let's see what happens this time. Joining the Don Callis family straight away. I'm immediately like,
Like
well,
putting salt in the wound, innit? It is putting salt
yeah,
in our proverbial wound.
yeah. But I kind of get it. Like building this epic mega faction
Is it
that
epic?
is huge, and there's so many big talents in it and what have you. But
But there's no dynamics.
I even saw someone saying on Twitter today, this will be someone's Bullet Club, as in like fans watching 2014, the Bullet Club was the coolest thing ever. That's what the Don Callis family is going to be to some people. And like, is it though? Not really the same sort of vibe. But I get the sentiment. Like, okay, like a conglomeration, bad choice of word, but conglomeration of like the biggest heels and what have you. But like, I just everyone's getting lost in that family.
To me, it's just really flat. Like, the only thing that's interesting about that is the people who are on top. Cal Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita, and the
Yeah.
tensions of Takeshita and Okada playing off of each other, and Cal Fletcher and Don Callis work really, really well for each other. I'm not opposed to some of the talent that don't really frequent AEW that often been in it, like Hechicera. I think it's cool to have some international talent. I think that's cool for them working in other promotions, adds a bit of flair. I like it. But then you get people who are bottom of the fucking barrel, like Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Josh Alexander, and all these other people, and it just like, okay, it would be, it'd be really fucking cool if it was the biggest, baddest heels in AEW and it was really exclusive. Then I think, yeah, then I would really be into it. But it's all this like fluff
Extra.
around the outside that really tanks it for me. And and there's no like, it would be cool if there was more, like with the Death Riders, like more infighting and more story within it, but it's just like a vortex. Like once you're in it, you've got no opinions. You just, oh, I'm just It's like the SpongeBob movie when it's like all hail plankton and they all have the buckets on the head. Like there's no like original thoughts, man. There's no it just didn't for me. It just didn't for me. But Andrade, right? Like it's tough because Andrade is a great wrestler. Right? He can put on a great match, and he remained quite class, to be fair, towards the end of his run last AEW. His last match in AEW was one of the best I think he did in AEW as a whole. Very good, and I can empathise with him because his wife at the time, Charlotte, he wants to go to WWE to be with her,
They're not
to
together
be
anymore.
no, no, I don't
Oh.
think so. I think they're on and off again. And I don't think they are together at present.
Hmm.
So I can empathise with that, right? But there was also reports that he had like a bad attitude, and it just kind of rubs me up the wrong way. Like being wanted to be treated a certain way, going to WWE, it just feels like a bit. I don't know. And then to like come back, maybe that humbled him a bit. I don't know. I think there would like there is like a bit of heat from like people like me. So if he was presented in a certain dickish heel way, then I think like it could work and he could have genuine heat and it could be quite enjoyable.
Hmm.
But and then the program with Kenny as well, it's like really, I
Yeah, I mean
just
that's extreme. Coming back and doing that straight away. And it's like, yeah,
yeah,
I know it's maybe it's I'm a bit like a hypocrite 'cause on one hand I'm laughing like, oh, he's just gonna get lost in the Cal's family, and on the other hand I'm like, well, that's a bit extreme going straight into a program with Kenny Omega, like, making my mind up what do I want, but I just think
it is
that's
tough.
crazy. Like we think we might have limited time left with Kenny Omega and we're going straight into this. I mean, okay. They'll probably have some great matches, sure, but I'm kind of a bit like I just hope that they give us a good reason why he like some sort of story behind it. Like, why would he target Kenny? Although, I mean, anyone has a good reason to target Kenny because he's like one of
Because
the
it's in
top
Cal's
wrestlers.
family,
But
and I guess that's the
yeah,
affiliation
I
is
guess that's
he's
it.
in the Callis family, and they hit Kenny and Don's brought him in like, oh, I've brought in Andrade and his history with you and yada yada. But then it's tough in it because I'm like, if I'm Tony Khan, I re-sign Andrade, which I wouldn't do that because I think it's tough. Right, anyway, finish your original thought before you go and check thought. If I'm Tony Khan and I sign Andrade again, which I wouldn't do, you know, I guess you want to get return on your investment, and the best way to do that is to have that shock debut against Kenny. And obviously it worked because it went viral and it got clicks and it got
Mm.
views. So, and then I guess it is kind of cool, like the unpredictability of like people jumping from AEW to WWE. Like it keeps things fresh and it's quite wild because within the 6 years of AEW, this is the first time that someone went from AEW to WWE to AEW again. So who knows in the future who might cross back. But my take on it is like you left. You didn't really raise your stock in WWE. You're not the most, I mean, you're a great wrestler, but you're not the most charismatic person in the world. You fucked up. You did a boo boo. I understand. You went to WWE and now, like, you're getting everything handed to you. But, like I said, that could make a really great heel character. But then I'm like, what does that do to backstage morale if it's like, oh, well, he can just jump back and get all this shit handed to him? It just, something about it just rubs me up the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
I have to be honest, it just does. I just don't think
Yeah,
it's right.
yeah, and that's totally fair enough. I'd be interested to know the sort of backstage politics that have happened surrounding this because it is interesting. Like you said, the first person who's gone from AEW to WWE back to AEW, does that set a precedent for other people? And is this how they're going to get treated if they come back?
So with like Cody Rhodes, he left WWE, went to the Indies, helped start up AEW and then went back to WB, and then he rose quite quickly up the card and then had the Bloodline 1 and 2 saga and then eventually went on to be world champion. So he kind of left and got things handed to him. But in the instance of him, I'm like, and I know it's a totally different situation, like Cody Rhodes and Andrade, like totally different star power, but that's my point, is like Cody went away, built something, came back to his original company, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like CM Punk, he left WWE, he went to AEW, he came back to WWE, his stock had risen, so he was taken more seriously, given more opportunities. And it's like, okay, like I might not like the fact that Cody and Punk left AEW because I'm an AEW fan, but I can appreciate the politics and why it went down that way, and it does feel just. It feels fair for those
Mhm.
people, even if the way Punk left AEW wasn't the best. No one can argue that, like,
No.
at that time, like the clout he had
In a
was,
business sense.
yeah, the clout he had in a business sense was pretty high. So it makes sense that, you know, if you're going to leave one company to another. But that's the thing, though, like when Cody left and Punk left, I mean, I know Cody wasn't as hot because the crowd was starting to turn him or whatever, but he was still like the golden boy of AEW. When Punk left, like, yeah, it was in controversy, but he still was a massive draw.
Yeah.
Andrade won booked in WWE. Like, TK don't give a fuck about losing Andrade. So it's like, I just, I don't get it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and I think totally valid. And this instances like this are just another way that feeds the tribalist discourse on both sides of the fence, which is always
But it is kind of
toxic as
cool at the
fuck.
same time. The unpredictability
Mm.
is kind of cool. So I've got like many minds about it. Overall, I don't like it, but I can appreciate that there are positives to this situation.
Yeah,
But I think there could be long-term negatives to this situation as well.
yeah. I think we are right to be a little pessimistic.
Okay, so then they did a really cute, like, little Dynamite
Oh,
rewind video package. It was kind of like a rewind, but kind of like the current people and like where they are now. And it was like Hangman's like champion, Darby Allin, and it was just cute. It was
in,
just real cute.
speaking of Cody and Punk, they were both in it
Yeah.
very briefly. But yeah, I mean, it just made me emotional, to be honest. I was like, oh, I love this. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I mean, the 6 years of Dynamite, like the fact that it was able to go through COVID and
Yeah,
brawl out,
yeah.
brawl in, and the CM Punk saga is, I
Bro.
don't know what could bring AEW down. Like, I just don't think it would die. Like, I just, at this point, like, if it could survive those two things, go for 6 years, be where it's at, yeah, I just don't see how it can get much worse than those things.
Yeah, I know. It feels like, they did hit at one point, or maybe a couple of points, what felt like rock bottom, but they survived it and they coasted along the bottom, and then they've risen up since then. So yeah, it does make you feel like, positive about the future, and 6 years is a long time to keep it up. So absolutely.
And they weren't just like looking on the past and like rewarding fans for like old time's sakes. I mean, definitely there was winks to the past and the day ones there. But throughout the broadcast, the commentary team kept like putting over people and being like, "Oh, this is Orange Cassidy if you didn't know," and da da da, and try to kind of move towards the future, which is nice
Yeah.
because I don't know how big of an influx of an audience they've had, truthfully, like, because who knows, but there's definitely been a lot of people that I notice online that are saying that they've been switching over and that they've been enjoying it. And the buy rate for All Out was insane. I want to say it was like 150K, like or 125K. It was a massive number. So
Hmm.
it's it's good that they were. they were trying to take on board the that new viewers might be watching and not trying to isolate them during like a nostalgia baity
Mm.
anniversary show. It was a great mix of yes, nostalgia for the past, but also looking forward to the future, which I think was a good balance.
Yeah, and I think like if you are a new fan like watching that, I feel like if it was me personally, that would pull me in even more. Like, oh, look at all this history, isn't that interesting? Maybe I can go back and watch some of this, or like, oh, there's a lot of stories and characters that I don't know about yet that I can get involved in. I don't know. I just feel like little something like that makes it feel more legitimate in a way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we had Matt Briscoe reflecting how he's been consumed by MJF. Matt Briscoe's happy his friends are succeeding. Orange Cassidy with his match, which came up next against Cal Fletcher for the TNT title, even though he was supposed to be in that position and those opportunities were cost for him. And the MJF's licking his wounds. Well, he hopes that MJF is licking his wounds while he's like, it was like, I'm not being petty. I'm happy for my friends, unlike you, who is licking your wounds at home and
Hmm.
pulling the thumbtacks out of your ass. So yeah, I like the fact that this feud just continues. I do. I like the fact that Matt Briscoe continues to be salty, as he should be,
As you
as he
should.
fucking should
Well, you know
be.
what? I was thinking about this a lot because there was someone right behind the hard cam wearing a t-shirt that said MJF did nothing wrong. And I was thinking, yeah, I love Max just as much as the next guy. But he literally said stuff like, Mark, I wish you were dead instead of your brother. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I actually think he did do quite a lot of things wrong. And good on Mark for he should not forgive and he should not forget.
Absolutely not. And I think it's a great feud they've got going on. I think they could keep it going for a really long time. Like I find them very entertaining. I think they work, they play off each other really, really well. So then we had the match Cal Fletcher versus Orange Cassidy. Kudos to Kyle as TNT champion. What he's been doing for the belt so far has been really good. I mean, it's what we thought he would be when he had the match and Dustin picked up the win. Then Kyle got the win. We were like, thank God, like he's going to be a fighting champion, and he absolutely has been. The match with Commander at Collision was great, and this was no exception. And it's just great because that belt has been very on again, off again. I feel like it
Yeah.
gets built up and then someone gets it and they just don't defend it. So
Yeah.
it's just really nice to have it be a great mid carder belt that means something. And yeah, I love the aura that Cal Fletcher's bringing to it.
Oh, 100%. He's making it feel important and he never, he went for the world championship, but that wasn't at the detriment of the TNT championship, I don't think. Which I think is impressive that he managed to do that. And this match felt important. It didn't feel like a throwaway match. And to be honest, I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to define this match in one word, it'd be the word rage bait
Mm.
because Kyle Fletcher just had no time for Orange Cassidy's nonsense. But that didn't stop Orange Cassidy from just rage baiting him and being nonchalant the
Mhm.
whole way through the match. And it was just great because Kyle Fletcher was then getting more and more aggressive, which he already is at like a 10 for aggressions, and we were going above and beyond. And then because of that, Orange Cassidy was forced to get fired up quite fast and go into his next gear quite rapidly. So that then brought the tension of the match up and then kind of gave it like a layer of unpredictability, like it could go either way because the wrestling was really tight at that point. And I just thought these two played off each other really, really well.
Totally agree. I'd even go as far to say that this is pretty close to a perfect match, to be honest with you. I just felt like, well, everything what you just said, and Kyle was forced to take Cassidy seriously, and he didn't want to, but he had to, and then that made Cassidy in turn, like you said, like take it up a notch. and it was smooth back and forth. There was innovative moves. Don Callis got involved a little bit, but he didn't make it about him. It was only a little bit. Um, yeah, it was just an absolutely excellent match.
Yeah, Don Callis, we'll get there eventually. Don Callis did try to seek involvement, but Hologram came up and sort of that shooed off Don Callis. But oh my god, it's evil Hologram, and he swipes the leg of Orange Cassidy, which allows Fletcher to do, I believe, the turnbuckle brainbuster for the win. The conglomeration come down because there's a bit of a beat down going on Kyle, not on Kyle Fletcher, on on Orange Cassidy. I will get the right man. Yes, then we have the full Callis family coming out, and the hologram clone is revealed with the worst effects I've ever heard. It was like this red flashing light, which looked like the lights were glitching, and then
so
every
goofy.
10 seconds it'd go, shum, shum. It was just awful. It was just bloody awful.
It just sounded like, when you speak, when your phone's a bit too far away from your Bluetooth speaker, and it's like buzz, buzz, a bit like that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I found it a bit confusing. It was obvious it wasn't hologram, but then commentary were like, "What the hell is hologram doing? There's something not right here." And it's like, yeah, it's not him. You can tell it's not. Can we just get to the point? And then the flashing lights looked so goofy, and it was very not on brand for the Callis family. It was just like a totally different theme for them. I was like, what is happening right now?
But I don't hate the evil hologram. Like, it is hokey, but I think it's quite fun. Like, I do quite enjoy it, to be fair. I think it's like Shadow Mario.
Yeah.
Like, in Mario Galaxy and shit, and you got like those levels and you gotta beat Shadow Mario, that's what it's given. So I think it could be a vibe. I think it could be a vibe.
I mean,
what if they like teamed up? What if like they team up and there's like two holograms and like they tag together? It is so like 10-year-old boy though. It is like Tony Khan's like fucking dream in it.
like
But I do
Wario
get it
Mario.
at the same time. Yeah, but
when you pair up Wario and Mario on Double Dash, that's kind of what's that giving if they tag team. Nah, it's just,
but it's whimsical.
yeah, it is whimsical. I mean, yeah, I'll have an open mind about it. It's just it's very cartoonish.
But just get rid of the effects.
Bad thing. Yeah.
Aye.
Sort out your SFX, your audio visual equipment.
So then we had Mercedes backstage with Renee, and Renee was pointing out that she still got 9 belts, not the 10 that she'd aimed for. Renee, of course, very self-focused. She's like, let's celebrate, focus on me. And next Tuesday, she will put a title on the line for someone local from Florida. And Renee brings up the tag belts, and she's like, is that something you would like to add to your repertoire? Cue Puppet Monet coming in, and Harley Cameron,
Biggest
bless her, shooting a shot. Shoot her shot with Monet, who kind of rejects her. But yeah, I mean, that would be pretty fun. I would be into these two working together. Hilarity would ensue.
Yeah, do something a bit light-hearted. It'll be fun. Why not?
Why not? Who's the person from Florida though? Like, because obviously that's a wink moment, and I don't know if I'm just really out of the loop because I just have not had a lot of time to be in the loop. So I don't know.
I am not good with hometowns. I don't know off the top of my head what female wrestlers from Florida, to be honest. Let us know in the comments if you know who she's referring to. I guess it could be anyone, but yeah. I don't know. It'll be a nice surprise for us. So yeah, then we had a six-man tag team match. Claudio, Daniel Garcia, and Moxley versus Hangman, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe. And I will say at first this was a lot of pretty boring, brawling, big guy stuff, big meaty men
Boring
slapping meat.
brawling.
In
Well,
not
Hobbs repeatedly dropping mocks on the apron was fun.
yeah, it was pretty fun. That them two fought a lot outside of the ring. Um, but yeah, it was a little bit of a slog at first. Like, yeah, it was fun in some parts, but I don't know, for me, I found it a little bit slow. But then Hangman got the hot tag, and then it really started to pick up. Um, yeah, he was just absolutely on one. Still clearly wanting to get revenge on Death Riders and just pulling on that story and that history there. Um, so Hangman hit Mox with a buckshot, but then Claudio stormed in, and then him and Hangman had like awesome sequence, awesome back and forth between the two of them, like exchanging like signatures and things. But then eventually Hangman got the dead eye in and the buckshot on Claudio for the win. Um, I would say that this match was not bad, but it wasn't my favorite. I mean, everyone knows how much I love most of the wrestlers in this match, but I don't. Yeah, it didn't do too much for me, and it was very much overshadowed by what happened afterwards. So it got heated between Samoa Joe and Hangman. So was it that Hangman like tried to hand him the one of his belts or something, and he dropped it, or I
Yeah, and things escalated from there.
yeah, um, and poor Hobbs, he was just stood in between them like, like a kid in the middle of a divorce, um, and it just got really quickly heated between Hangman and Samoa Joe, and it just suddenly flipped a switch. Like, actually, this is not about the Death Riders anymore. This is about these two, which was really fun. I think the security came out a little bit prematurely because they hadn't even started fighting at this point. But then, yeah, I think it was Joe who made the first shove, and they were getting held apart. Joe was saying, "Hangman, you've never beaten me." Yeah, I mean, it went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, I gotta say the six man for me just did not work. I really didn't care, and I think it was doing two things repetitively. The first of which was running back Hangman and Mox, which I just
Yep.
don't think is good for anyone. I don't think it's good for Hangman because when I see him with Mox, it feels stagnant. And I don't think it's good for Mox because it just makes him look really weak because, Hangman is the champion, so he goes
Yeah,
over
exactly.
Mox and it just doesn't do anything. And then as well you've got essentially two parts of the ops going against the Death Riders, which you've seen done to death a
Yeah,
million times before. There doesn't really
exactly.
seem to be much heat from Claudio or Mox regarding the fact that they lost the trios belts to them. There's kind of no tension of that playing out. And I think the third offence was just Daniel Garcia, which I don't have any expectations Daniel Garcia and the Death Riders because I knew exactly how this would play out when all y'all were fucking, foaming at the mouth for Daniel Garcia and the Death Riders. I knew it would go like this. And I think Daniel Garcia should have played into the win. He should have had more standout moments in the match,
Yeah,
more
100%.
star building moments. I think it's terrible that he didn't. And I think in the main event, like I know Pac kind of got the big the big sort of I don't know like focus at the end when he came in, and I thought why couldn't that have been Daniel Garcia in the main event?
Yeah.
I mean, he has less personality than he did before. If that was possible, that is the effect of joining the Death Riders.
hmm Yeah, I mean, when I was running down the match, I didn't mention Daniel Garcia once, I don't think. So I think that pretty much sums it up. There was
Didn't
nothing.
fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. There was just nothing in this for him. But, it was just felt like it was barely even addressed, or there should be some different dynamics in the Death Riders now. And it doesn't really feel like there is. And it would definitely not season the reigns as much as I feel like they should with this. So yeah, totally agree with you. But what did you think about the angle with Joe and Hangman?
I will say that, but I just want to say a second thing about like
Oh, go
while we're
ahead.
talking about Death Riders. I just feel like this is kind of wild, but I'd be interested to see some of the factions in AEW going against each other. Like, what if the Don Callis family, they're a heel faction, they want to topple the Death Riders? Because I think the Death Riders would actually come out quite sympathetic in that and like the scrappy
Mm,
underdog baby faces. And I think that would be a good way to sort of just give them something a bit different to do. Or like, how about the Callis family? Or how about like the Death Riders trying to plant one of theirs in the Callis family, or someone trying to plant the Callis family and Death Riders, and they try and cause like dissension within the group and destroy them from the outside, and like
that would be
something like
fun.
that would
That would
be
be really fun.
really fucking fun. But what did I think about Joe? Yeah, I think it worked really well. It was simple, it was effective, it's believable, and do I believe Joe's gonna go against Hangman and win the title? No, but do I think this is gonna be a great just transitional feud to the next big thing? Absolutely. And they'll put on a great match. They have a lot of respect for each other, and it'll be fun. So I don't really have much qualms about it. I think Hangman's title reign is being etched out to be a long one. I think the theory
Yep,
at the minute is that he'll probably drop it to Will Ospreay at Wembley if he's better by
makes
then.
sense.
And you can't have every pay-per-view feud be like, oh, it's life or death. Who's it going to be, this
Hmm.
person or that person? It'd be lovely if it was, but you can't have that point of tension at a 10 at every main event on every pay-per-view
Yeah,
because then it wouldn't be a 10. It would balance itself out and it wouldn't feel special anymore. So this is
exactly.
just a part of life and a part of Reigns, and I think yeah, I'm into it. I'm into both guys. I'm into how it's being set up, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you. So yeah, after this, Hangman had an interview with Renee, and he basically laid down the match with Samoa Joe for Wrestle Dream, which felt quite sudden. And well, okay, we're doing this. This is happening. But yeah, here for it. He said, "If you throw another fit like that at me, I will ruin your life." So, like I said, 0 to 100 instantly. But
But it's
that's
egos, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. It's on brand for Samoa Joe as well. Like hot-headed and yeah. So it was entertaining, unexpected, which is often a very nice thing. So then we'll move on to we had Ty Mello versus Tony Storm. Um, this was a
Well,
very
before that, sorry,
yeah.
I don't know how you could brush over the Sammy Guevara video package.
Oh, I
Oh no,
thought
that was
that was
after.
after.
That
I
was
think it
after.
was
Sorry, I
after.
don't know why I
No,
was
it's okay.
desperate to talk about Sammy
Yeah,
Guevara.
you. Oh my
I
God,
was
Sammy
like,
Guevara's biggest fan over here. Bloody hell.
I'll pipe down. I'll
The
pipe down.
disrespect to
Sorry.
Ty Mello. Oh my God. Um, well, it's fine because this was a pretty nondescript match without much of note, to be completely honest. It was
Glad you feel that
super
way.
short. It was sub 10 minutes. Um, you know, it's interesting to see Tony Storm putting out an open challenge and how she adapts to not having a championship belt. It was very weird to see her without the belt. I just felt like it become accustomed that was just a part of her identity. So then how is she gonna find her identity without it? Um, but I don't know if this was the right match to sort of do that. Basically at the end she reversed Tamello's finisher and hit the hip attack and the Storm Zero for the win. And she cut a promo basically saying like, without the title, who the bloody hell am I? And Chris Statlander, I want my one-on-one match. I'm not finished with you. So we're laying the groundwork for them two to have a one-on-one match, which I think makes perfect sense. And I feel a lot of sympathy for Tony Storm, and I guess that's what they're going for.
I think, put it in perspective, you're on your 6th year AEW Dynamite show. You're having one women's match. I know there was a mixed tag, so okay, fair dues, right? You got But point being, right, you got this one match. You got Tony Storm, right? No fucking problems there. I think that's great. I think her promo was great. I think they're setting up for Wrestle Dream. I agree. A logical rematch. Will be exciting to see how that turns out, what direction they go. But what was getting me was you have all this choice of women who have fought over the 6 years,
Yeah.
a breadth and a depth of talent of people you could choose to represent the 6 year anniversary.
Absolutely.
Ty Mello, of all the fucking people you could have picked, Ty Mello. I'm not
Yep.
saying don't give her a chance on Dynamite, right? If she's been drilling away, she had a baby, they've been plugging away. I'm not a fan, but okay, fair enough. Giving her a bit of TV time. But the 6th anniversary, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of what I was trying to get on. I was like, it's not just because it's the 6th anniversary, but also I feel like it's an important moment in Tony Storm's career. Like this transitional period and like how do you bounce back from a defining championship reign? I just wasn't so sure about this choice.
Yeah.
Like you said, with the depth and breadth of that roster. So yeah, yeah, okay.
And then a fiance. Then a
And then it
fiance
was
comes on screen.
yeah, it was like a promo, but it was also edited into a video. Um, basically calling out Eddie Kingston.
To
Yawn.
fight Drilistico.
Yeah, he
So
said
it was
that,
like Sammy was his mouthpiece. It was
yeah,
so
it's like
stupid.
LFI is going to take you out. Jalisco versus Eddie Kingston on Collision. So he's not even like calling him out for a match himself. He's like, my friend's going to beat you up. Like, oh my fucking God. Okay. There are no words. Poor Eddie Kingston. I mean, is this what he wanted? Is
I
this
think he did
what
though.
he? Because I understand what you were saying when in your review of All Out, when you were like, I think some people have really high expectations for Eddie Kingston, and like he doesn't want all that pressure, and he wants to come back in a more low key sort of way, and I 100% get that, and I understand that from his point of view why you would want to do that, but I mean, this feels like a big step backwards. It might not be a
Yeah, I
long term
mean,
thing, but
he clearly is not feeling very confident.
yeah, poor guy.
But I mean, would you? And the thing is, well, he wasn't feeling confident. He came back and then everyone shit on his first match back. No,
Yeah,
like, oh, he might have a bit of ring rust. And then, yeah, do you know what? I'd be hiding on Collision with bloody Jalistico. Because you
yeah,
all are mean.
that's so true.
Mean.
That is so true.
And yeah, I'm shitting on Sammy Guevara, but he's been annoying his whole career. Eddie Kingston had one bad match and it was like, end it well. I didn't think it was a bad match. I quite enjoyed it. But Eddie Kingston had one match that people didn't hold to like the standard of God that they'd like projected in some weird wrestling limerence that they had while he was injured. It was mad. And then they all shit on him, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, it's completely understandable that he'd want to sort of chill a bit on the sidelines, not make a huge, big, all fire. What's the phrase I'm looking for? I don't know. Like all fireworks going off, like return. He wants to keep it low key, especially given the response to his first match. So we'll see where that goes. Sammy Guevara versus Eddie Kingston, obviously a huge draw, apparently.
well, it's
Um,
Drilistico.
oh yeah, of course, of course.
Stop projecting your dream match. Calm down. I know we just, well, I'm like, we need to talk about Sammy Guevara's video package, and you're like, Sammy Guevara versus Eddie Kingston, like,
We're just
clearly
the biggest fans. Sammy Guevara
secret
fangirl.
fans.
Yeah.
We actually bonded over him though.
We're in
When
the
we first
closet.
met at uni years ago, 6 years ago,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be right.
2019, like
Yeah.
when Dynamite started, and we bonded over Sami Zayn, Kevin
Oh my
Owens,
God, yeah, we
CM
did.
Punk, and then I
Yeah.
said, do you like that guy that wears that panda hat? Because at the time he wore like a panda head, and I was like, I love
Mhm.
him. He's called Sammy Guevara, and you were like, yeah, he's all right, I guess. I guess I quite like Sammy Guevara, and
Oh my,
that was like one of the people we bonded over, and that's hilarious.
I can't even To be honest, I can't remember that. I remember us talking about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and CM
We
Punk, but
100% did, Lucy. We
I
100%
believe
did.
you. I 100% believe you, and I 100% didn't know who you were on about, and I was like, I want this cool girl to think I'm cool. Yeah, I like Sammy Guevara.
Ah,
Anyway, so then
Hilaire.
Samoa Joe had like I think he
Oh my
was
god, I'm calling you. Sorry, I was. Over the chat.
I think he was with Renee. Are you good?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you why
yeah.
are you ringing
No,
me, girl?
basically,
Oh, that's what
because
you
I
were
went on
saying.
Messenger while you were talking, and I was going to search through the chat to find something about it, but then
And you
I
just started
started
ringing.
ringing you.
I was like,
Yeah, sorry.
who's ringing me at this time? That's a bit strange. It was you.
Just
Ugh,
can't get enough of you. I just
gross.
want all of your attention.
Oh, right. Yeah, Joe was with Renee, and he basically said, maybe I've been a bit too preoccupied with the Death Riders and I've forgotten who I am, and looks like I need to remind Hangman who the fuck I am as well. Which was just intense and brilliant and totally brought the whole thing together, like made sense, and I enjoyed it.
Can I read out these messages?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's really cute. This is the only thing that came up. This was the 15th of August 2020 at 12:31 a.m.
Oh my god,
That
okay.
was Oh no, actually, to start with, I've got a put. There's a meme that you sent, uh, and you put when you meet somebody new and hit it off immediately, and it's this girl with a donkey, and you put you that ginger girl, I'm the donkey, and then I put that was us with me talking about Sammy G's panda hat before we realised he was trash, sad face. X, I love you so much, like you don't even know. And I'm so happy we became close, love
Oh my
heart.
god.
And then you put, I'm so grateful that you exist and that we are friends. I consider you my best friend from uni. I trust you so much. And I have trust issues, so yeah, congratulations for that kiss. That's so cute.
Oh, how cute is that? That's very
Isn't that
wholesome.
cute?
Maybe we could do that for our like one of our special episodes, reading out our chats. Dan
We
and
have
Phil
some
do
cursed
that.
ones.
That might be incriminating actually. Maybe we shouldn't do that. We might get cancelled.
Incriminating.
Not incriminating, but cancelable. Um, but yeah, that's very wholesome. You got a good memory. I can't believe you remembered Sammy J and his panda hat.
Well, yeah, because it was our first meeting, so like that imprinted on me, and like my first day at the wrestling society at uni. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I do remember that. I remember the quiz being too hard and going to the pub
and
after and
and then you walked me to my campus block. So we will get into Gates of Agony versus the Swirl, although
trust me, this is
it's
more
not the most exciting
interesting.
thing. But no, you walked me home with someone else because I was very drunk, and then I
Yes.
walked back out anyway. Went
Yeah.
to a takeaway shop, and then these men made me dance for chips.
Yes.
And I messaged you and I was like,
Oh,
I'm at a takeaway dancing. And
I
you
was like,
were
why are you
like,
not in bed? I literally walked you to your door.
that's another memory I love. Sorry, just
I was
nostalgia bit. And
like,
6 years of Dynamite, 6 years of friendship,
oh,
which is weird.
I love
But
that.
yeah.
That's very like full circle. Love that for us. Um, but yeah, things are gonna take a turn here because we're gonna talk about Goa, aka GOA,
Go
aka
away. Go away, kid, go away. It's not even funny, but
GOA, more like go away. Perfect, love that.
go
Oh,
away. Go away.
perfect. Versus The Swirl, which might be the stupidest tag team name I've ever heard.
It's
What
hilarious.
did
It's
you call
so
them
bad, it's
before?
funny. What did I
Before we
call
went
them?
on air, you gave him like a you were like, oh, I can't remember what you said now. I shouldn't have brought it up. But
I
you
can't
forgot their name,
remember.
and I can't even, me neither.
I
Never
don't
mind.
know, the spiral.
Yeah, I think that might have actually been it. The spiral. Um,
I'm spiraling when I'm watching him,
hmm
questioning my life choices.
Yeah, wishing they would go away. Um, so yeah, we have Ricochet on commentary, and Bryan Danielson was all like, "You're the best wrestler ever, Ricochet." And Ricochet was like, "Fuck you, Bryan Danielson." I would be forgiven for thinking this would be a squash match. Unfortunately, it wasn't. The swirl actually got quite a bit of offense in. They try to
The
make it
swirl.
they try to make it seem like it was going to be like back and forth, like, oh my God, can they do it? But Gates Wagner were very hard hitting and intense as usual, and I will give them the flowers for that. I think they're good at that style of wrestling. But overall, this was a pretty pointless match, and the Gates Wagner did end up winning. Any thoughts on the match?
No,
No.
I think
So
it was more the
then,
fallout, wasn't it? What
yeah,
happened after
exactly.
that was
So
more of consequence.
yeah, so the Hurt Syndicate then appeared, and MVP, he was like, "Who here's got this zip code?" And he said 305, and I was like, "Oh my God, Pitbull reference." And yeah, he challenged GOA to a street fight. So nice. I like it. And also, I think it was interesting as well that he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I let you guys down. I let everyone down last week." So it's showing a bit of vulnerability. And then, yeah, took it up a notch. Was like, let's get violent.
King of accountability.
Yeah, we love that. Love non-toxic men. Um, I mean, this worked just to further the intensity between GOA and the Hurt Syndicate. I guess that was the purpose, and it did what it set out to do.
Aye.
So I can't. I guess for
And the
that reason, I
swirl.
can't complain about
Next
it.
big
But
thing, guys.
yeah, watch out for this next big tag team.
What they called the swirl.
It just reminds me of like an ice cream, like a Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, like a curly whirly.
Yeah, the curly whirlies. That'd be a better
The
take.
curly the curly whirlies.
That should be
That's
their.
what they have curly whirly hair though, so they should be called that.
That should be their finisher name.
Absolutely. The curly
So unless we have anything to add about that, should we talk about the main event?
Great commentary on that match.
A lot
Yeah,
of
I suppose.
amazing
This is when it went
amounts.
back up.
Yeah, so we had a mixed tornado tag match. It was Darby Allin and Chris Statlander versus Marina and Wheeler Yuta. So tornado tag rules, that basically means it's not really a tag match. They don't have to tag in and out. And I don't think they're usually no disqualification, but this one was no disqualification. So it started really hot off the bat. Darby Allin and start going after Marina and Yuta on their entrance. Someone in the crowd was holding a sign that said "Kill Yuta," and Darby Allin was going hard trying to achieve that. And I loved the way that Statlander and Shafir were going at it. Shafir like getting in her MMA stuff. It really looked like a real fight. It didn't look like a wrestling match. It was a fight. It was a brawl. And I thought that worked really well. They went so hard from the start. And then as they sort of approached the ring, they got weapons involved. So a lot of steel chairs. Darby Allin sort of had Wheeler Yuta lined up on a steel chair and was going for like a suicide dive type thing. Yuta moved out the way, and Darby just fucking launched himself right into the chair, which was essentially his cut off that kept him out for much of the rest of the match. And it was like Chris Statlander fighting on her own. And that spot was just crazy. I mean, the velocity that man was travelling at when he hit that chair was just crazy. So yeah, it continued in the same vein, very violent. I thought it was interesting. We did have some like mixed gender stuff happening. So Yuta sort of like did an angle slam onto Chris Statlander, but then she suplexed him onto the big pile of steel chairs in the ring, which worked really well. I thought it was interesting that Wheeler seemed very anguished at having to fight Chris Statlander. I will always hold on to my Wheeler Yuta agenda. We had thumbtacks getting involved at some point, and Marina Shafir with probably the most disgusting spot of the night. foot first onto a load of thumbtacks. She doesn't wrestle wearing shoes, so they just boop right up there, and you can just imagine how much that hurts. I can't remember what I was. I think I was listening to the Markham Wrestling podcast, and they were talking about a really old World of Sport episode where they recorded it in Markham. They were talking about how the best wrestling moves, like most effective, are the ones that seem real. That people, like real ordinary people, will be like, "Oh yeah, that I know that hurts. That'll hurt." You can imagine how much it would hurt. So they were talking about. I can't remember the example what they were talking about, but my point being that this thumbtack into the foot is definitely an example of that. Because I don't know about you, as I can't imagine what it must feel like to have thumbtacks in the like in your back and stuff. I'm curious, like, what does that actually feel like? But I can picture the pain of it going in my foot because everyone stood on like an upturned plug or some Lego or something, right? So you can imagine how much that hurts. So that was just bloody brutal. It was just fucking badass. This whole thing was badass, and I really enjoyed it. The ending was strange. So Marina got like powdered by Wheeler Yuta and she was blinded and she couldn't see
Oh,
anything.
that was weird.
And then she started choking him out by accident, thinking he was Darby. And he was knocked out, and then he got hit with the 450 from start, and then the coffin drop from Darby for the win. So that was just a bit unusual, but you know what? I quite liked it because it was different. Overall, I thought this match was excellent, and I was entertained throughout, to be honest.
Yeah, it really brought me back. Like I said, that second half of the show was just it dipped quite considerably. But this definitely brought it back, and I just it is really cool, I think, having Stat as champion, because while I think like Toni Storm is hard hitting, like she wouldn't really fit in like this Death Rider style
right.
street fight match. So I think it's really cool having Stat as champion and what she brings to the table. I loved her dive as well, like off like a little ledge raised
Yeah.
platform bit where people were sat, and she did like a crossbody. That was really cool. That foot spot was just fucking awful. Yes, the ending was a bit weird, but I think it worked. I think the match and the way the match had been and all the craziness of it just tied together. And I think the that where that then brought us to, and Moxley and his impassioned speech towards Darby at the end, it's kind of giving like, I don't know if I can say that actually. It's kind of giving, I'll word it carefully. It's kind of giving certain kink adjacent brat
Yeah. I mean,
X.
absolutely.
X. You know what I'm getting at.
You're so right. You're so right.
It's giving like, I'm gonna put you in your place. It's got tension, like whew, whew.
I mean, I
Tense.
feel like there's homoeroticism in everything that Moxley and Darby Allin do. So you put them together, it's very homoerotic. So yeah, you 100% right. It's very kinky. It is so kinky. These two are the kinkiest of all the wrestlers. So yeah, 100%. Yeah. So we had Tony Storm and Chris Statlander having a bit of a stare down. I love the way they tied that storyline in. And I just love the way that intertwined with, obviously the whole match was about Yuta and Stat and their history, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we got that sort of full circle moment, like, okay, she's got this to think about. She also got a huge challenge in Tony Storm. And then, Darby Allin tore his belt off, was whipping Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, that was cracking me up.
In the middle
I
of
don't
the
know why,
ring.
it was just cracking me up.
Speaking of kinky, he was whipping into bits. Then Pac came to make the save. This is what we were talking about earlier. Why couldn't
That have been Daniel Garcia?
Yeah, exactly. and then Pac like choked out Darby Allin while like with this belt while John Moxley was like stood over him and basically promising that he's going to make Darby Allin for the first time in his life say, I quit. And he was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, blah, 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 but I'm going to do it. So, yeah, pretty kinky to be honest.
Yeah,
But
that was Dynamite
it's
6,
a suitable
baby.
way to end the 6-year anniversary of Dynamite. Bit kinky, bit gay. That's how we do things around here. It was great. It was really good. It was a good angle to be honest. It was intense. It was again unexpected. There was a lot of unexpected random swerves in this. I feel like maybe wrong choice of words there, but you know what I mean. Throwing a curveball at us, things we didn't expect or see coming at all. And I thought as a special event, I call it a special event as the anniversary. I feel like it lived up to those expectations. I do agree that it took a bit of a dip halfway through, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty strong. Bit difficult to land on a rating. You know what would be really fitting if it was a 6 for 6 years, but that's too low. I feel.
Well, maybe when it's year 9 or something, we can give it
Yeah.
a 9. But I think for me, I'd put it as an 8.5.
Oh, that high.
Yeah, I mean, it was the anniversary. Like I say, I think it did a really good job of balancing the old and the new. It
Yeah.
started on a high, it ended on
And
a high, it created well, basically the 3 matches. I know that Darby and Mox had already been created, but it furthered that. We have Tony and Stat, and we also have Joe and Hangman. And I
yeah,
think all
Wrestle
3
Dream
of
is
those
shaping up to
things
be
have been
pretty
set up
awesome.
well. Yeah, and I think it was great the fact that they had a violent match, they had
Yeah.
technical wrestling, but like with fun spots, the multi-man tags, which I think is a huge part of AEW's identity, and to say as well that it didn't have like stars like Swerve and Osprey and other people who are currently out, I think it did a really good job of pulling through. And yeah, I think 1.5 is a reasonable. Yeah, I think if it was another week, I think I'd knock it down a bit more, maybe give it an 8. But because it was an anniversary and because I think it mainly achieved what I expect of an anniversary show, I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I don't think that the slightly negative or like not as good parts were bad enough to drag it down further than that. Um, and just ending on a very story driven and like building up with purpose to um 2 big matches to be honest, because I am counting the Statlander and Tony Storm in that as well. I felt like the main event was great in achieving building excitement and tension for that. So yeah, I would agree with you. I'd settle on an 8.5. I think that's a fair assessment. So do let us know, guys, in the comments, or you can get in touch on social media, etc. Let us know if you agree with our rating and our evaluation of Dynamite this week. So Dynamite is going to be on Tuesday, isn't it? For some reason.
Yeah, Title Tuesday, probably some sport related clash that us ignorant English people don't know about.
Yeah, it'll be some American, no doubt. Basketball, maybe. I don't have a clue. So yeah, we'll be back with another Dynamite review next week. Do make sure you subscribe or follow if you haven't already so that you don't miss that and any future content, and help us make the algorithm happy, help us reach more people by leaving a like, leaving a comment, sharing with your friends, what have you. We really do appreciate all the support and allowing us to keep on yapping. 6 years into AEW, and yeah, I feel very lucky and grateful to be able to just talk shit about it every week, and it's a lot of fun.
And as well, I managed to book my leave off, so we are now 2 months away, or probably like 9, 10 weeks away from seeing AEW Dynamite in person. So
Oh my
that's pretty
God.
exciting too.
That's so exciting. That is so exciting. Who would have thought all those years ago when we were bonding over Sammy Guevara that would be here today?
Who knows? He might even be there.
Wow, that really would be a full circle moment, wouldn't it?
Getting a bang for your buck right there.
Well, thanks as ever for listening, everyone, and we will see you next time.
I must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night, bad.
I wish you died in the womb!